Hello there. I'm going to talk about options of screenplay writing career, whatever that is possible if you want to become a writer. Okay, I'll first introduce myself. My name is Sameer Sarul Sharma, and I'm a professional screenplay writer. I've been working in the industry for more than 6 years now. I have graduated from Film and Television Institute of India in screenplay writing, and ever since I've been here in the film industry in Bombay working as a screenplay writer. I've also done some assistant direction assignments. I've been part of Urta Punjab as an AD. I've been a creative consultant on a film called A Death in the Gunj, which was directed by Konkana Sen Sharma. And I've had experience in writing for feature films, web series, and short films. All right, so let's have your questions. Yeah. Okay, so I'll just briefly tell you the options that are available in screenplay writing if you want to choose it as a career. It's an exciting career if you're looking at it. Of course, it's also something difficult at the same time because it's not easy to become a screenplay writer and then get your film made. Like very quickly, it takes time. So yes, there is a lot of growth in screenplay writing. Hi Akash. The screenplay writing starts with, of course, some very at a very basic level. You first start as an assistant writer, or if you already have a screenplay, then you start writing your screenplay. The two options are available for a writer. Either you have a spec script or you have a commission script. Spec script is something that you do when you write something on your own without anybody paying you anything. And commission script is when you get paid to write, which means you sit at home, you have a brief from your producers, or some idea that you have had has been approved by the producer, and then they pay you to write. You have a time frame. You get about 4 to 6 months to write, and then in between also you have to keep sharing whatever you write, which means you have to submit the story, the beat sheet, and then the step outline, and then you write the screenplay with the dialogues. Okay. Hi, Roy there. Yeah. Screenwriting is writing for the screen. It's a very basic thing. Writing for the screen, of course, it's different from literature writing, novel writing, play writing, because it's a technical document that you write. It has to have the flair of writing a novel as well as the technique of writing, which includes the instructions for the directors, the actors, and the editors, and all the other technicians, sound recordists and sound artists. So it includes instructions. That's why it is also a technical document as well as an artistic document, which means it has a story flowing throughout, but also has the instructions for everyone to follow when you go for it on the film set. Okay, so there are of course a lot of things in screenplay writing which you have to take into consideration, especially two things. Because as a writer, you are first communicating with the director, and you are communicating with the actors also. So your instructions are basically happening for direction and actors. So action descriptions are the descriptions for the actors, where they take the action description into consideration and then decide what to do in that, and then their dialogues, which are basically for the actors, of course. So then you also add instructions to the editors, to the sound recordists. So that exactly is the technical aspect of screenplay writing. Yeah. Okay. So I'll come back to the two things that I was talking about. There is one spec script. You're writing on speculation, which means nobody's paying you anything. You sit at home, you have a brilliant idea, you have an idea that really that is really exciting for you. You sit at home and you develop it, and then you write it 5-6 months, and then you pitch it to the producers. Of course, in all this period, nobody's paying you to write. The other option is to approach these producers with your own concepts, your own scripts, and then you tell them to have a discussion with them, and then they like your script. They may hire you to develop that script, which means you'll get paid for it, or you will have to, or they'll sign a contract with you and hire you for their own concept, and they'll want you to develop their own script, for which you're going to get paid. Okay, yes, RSACE, hi Jari there, Jari Marenga. Yes, RSACE provides screenplay writing courses, yes, specifically, yes, which includes TV and web series writing as well. And curriculum, yes, focuses mostly on films as well as TV web series. So there are modules designed for television web series as well. So you are getting trained in feature film writing as well as web series writing, and of course short film writing. So all of them are available at RSACE. Okay. There are in TV writing, especially, of course, now it is it is a very upcoming career now in TV writing, because there is a big boom in TV writing, web series writing, and there are a lot of opportunities for writers now. It has opened up in a big way. Earlier, of course, the opportunities for writers were limited. Now, this has really helped the writers get jobs very quickly. And there are a lot of jobs at different levels. You can start as a researcher, a script coordinator, and they are very basic jobs, which means now you are getting an intern job also as a writer. Earlier it was not possible. But now you can become an intern in a writer's room. So mostly now TV series writing happens in a writer's room, and you can become a researcher or a story coordinator, script coordinator, or there are other jobs, writer's assistant, which means you're seeing the process happening throughout. And you can become an intern, and you're getting a credit also for it. So whichever series you're working for, of course, you're going to be getting a credit for it. And you're also honing your skills. If you're also going to be participating in the script discussions, and if you are doing well, then you can even get to write an episode also. Hi Amar. Yeah, so see, story is also written by the writers themselves. Yes, sometimes what happens is that you can be given the story by the producers, but yeah, if you are writing your own spec script, which means writing something on speculation, you are developing your own story, and you develop it, and you then write the screenplay also. And as and when, of course, based on the producer's discussion, they can also hire other writers when you have a contract with the producers. Some dialogue writer can also come into the picture. Yes. Another question that somebody asked here is that how long does it take to write the screenplay? See, of course, there is no time frame within which you can write a screenplay. Sometimes you can write a screenplay in 4 months, 6 months, but ideally it takes 6 to 8 months to develop a good feature film screenplay, which means about 100 to 120 pages. Okay. See, the path to become this is a private account, yeah. So the path to become a professional screenplay writer is that you can follow, of course, 2 approaches. You already have some experience in writing, or you don't. Either way, you can get some formal education in screenplay writing. Going to a course, writing course is always very helpful, because you get trained as a writer. And since screenplay writing has a technical aspect in it, it's not just novel writing that you just write everything on your own because the readers have to read it. This document has to be read by a lot of people, so it needs some technical knowledge as well. And it is a document that is going to share with a lot of people who are going to collaborate on a film set. So for that, you have to have that technical knowledge. And I would advise that you first go to join a course where you get trained as a writer. You also get hands-on experience, which means you're going to be developing your own scripts, you're going to be making your own films. So an institute like RSACE is a very good place for you to consider, where you can get a screenplay writing course and hone your skills. Writing for screenplays is all about craft. Of course, there is an artistic aspect related to it, but it's all about craft, and that is why joining a course is helpful. And also because then it makes you aligned with the demands of the industry, and then you can always have internships and get trained, and then hone your skills and become a professional screenplay writer. Screenplay writing, so hi Roy there, what makes a story different from screenwriting except of the instructions to be provided? Yes, so it is, of course, it has to have that flair of writing. It has to flow like a story. So good screenplays, if you read good screenplays of say William Goldman or Billy Wilder or even Tarantino, so there is you see that they are very pacey. You can, when you start reading them, you don't want to put them down. It has instructions, but they don't really obstruct you or your reading when you're reading them. That's something that you can always improve now, because it's all about craft. As you revise your script, of course you are roughing, like all the rough edges are removed, and you make it a coherent read, so that whenever a reader is reading it, the story flows in a very dramatic manner. So that's exactly what you have to keep in mind when you're writing your own screenplays. Yes, you're keeping instructions also in mind, but you have to keep the flair of writing also in mind, because somebody is going to read it. Everyone is not going to be paying attention to those instructions. So the editor will definitely pay instruction through the editing instructions. The sound recordist will pay for the attention to the sounds that you include in it. Director will take into consideration the directorial instructions. The actor will. But overall, since everyone will read it, so it has to have a generic approach also to it, which means it has to flow as a pacey read as well. Okay. Yes, Amar, in Hindi films, yes, English is the medium. Most of the scripts are written in English. In fact, all of them are written in English. There are some writers coming from the Hindi background who prefer to write in Hindi, but most of the writers write in English. Action descriptions are always in English. So that is one thing. Dialogues are also written in English, and then a dialogue writer is hired, and then Hindi dialogues are done. Or if the writer himself or herself is writing the Hindi dialogues, then you mostly write them in the Roman format, Roman font. So you're writing the Hindi dialogues in Roman font. But yes, since in India you can be a script writer or a dialogue writer or both, so you can choose to write either way, whatever way. So yes, the medium mostly for Hindi films is English, but it's not a hard and fast rule. If you are comfortable with Hindi, you can always write in Hindi. Mostly, of course, producers expect that you write English, because most people understand English now. So yes, they prefer that the document is written in English. So the person who writes the screenplay or the story has to do the dialogues. No, that is not the case. In India, we mostly have three parts to the screenplay: story, screenplay, and dialogue. So story can be written by somebody, and then the screenplay can be written by somebody else, and the dialogues can be done by the third person. So you can be just a screenplay writer, you can be just a dialogue writer. Yes, that is allowed in our film industry, which is good and bad in some way or the other, yes. But yes, you should also be able to do your own dialogues, write your own dialogues. So yes, but you can choose to be just a dialogue writer if you're good with dialogues. Overall, the craft has to have the understanding of both the dialogues as well as the screenplay. Screenwriting and script writing are, Akash, one and the same thing. There is no difference. It's just that we started calling script writing because script was mostly used. Is a very generic term. Screenwriting is a specific term, writing for the screen specifically. Now, script can be written for the theater as well, but screenwriting is definitely for the screen, which means either a TV episode script or a feature film script. So the word screen has been given to this only for the this fact that you're writing for the screen. Script writing can be generated. It can be an ad. It can be a theater script or stage play script also. So yeah, somebody's asking here, Himanga. Yes, so no, so RSACE doesn't have a writer's room where you can submit stories. No, it doesn't have that room. You can, if you have stories, of course, they are producers, you can submit them to production houses. But as an academy, there is no writing room where your story is accepted. If you are interested in joining a course, of course, you are most welcome. You can ask the course coordinator or the counselor there who can advise you about the courses. Okay, so any questions, anybody? Okay, I'll just briefly tell you now. So I was telling you about the TV opportunities in TV writing, which are now a lot. So yes, you can join at different levels. If you are just a new writer, then you become a staff writer. And the job of a staff writer is to be part of all the discussions in a writer's room. And this is a very basic job that you can get in a writer's room. Of course, they are also getting paid well now. If you are just fresh out of college, or you've just shown your interest in writing and you want to become a writer, and you get access to a writer's room or somebody who can provide you a job there, then you will be first hired as a researcher or a script coordinator, where your job will be to just assist in the writer's room, providing, of course, sometimes taking notes, keeping the writer's room functioning. Yes, a script coordinator also has to make sure that the lunch arrives on time, that the writers arrive on time, or there are any problems the writers face, the things are made available to them, the internet is functioning well, or the laptops are there. So all of them are the things which are a script writer, which a script writer has to perform. Script coordinator, I'm sorry. And researcher, yes, you can also become a researcher, which is a very basic job again, at a very at the very basic level. And you can also become a writer's assistant, where you assist the writer, which means you're taking notes and providing information to the writer. So yeah, hi Roy. So yes, if you have no experience in screenplay writing, I would suggest that yes, you take the pen and paper or your laptop and start writing the stories that you have in your mind. If you come up with some ideas, start fleshing them out, which is why I am suggesting and recommending that you join a course or take a workshop or a seminar where you get some basic idea of the whole process of screenplay writing. And if you have time, if you have that intention, if you want to make it your career, then you can join a course. And it is always helpful because you are honing your craft throughout that 1 or 2 or 3 years you're spending at a film school. You are going to be developing your scripts, your writing throughout, and it will give you a lot of knowledge of the craft. And eventually, of course, when you get into the industry, you will not be somebody who's an amateur in writing. You will know everything that anybody will talk about. So you will not be just sitting there without really knowing things. You will have your own level of understanding when it comes to screenplays, and you can always then join as a screenplay writer. Amar, by writer's room, I mean that there are 5 to 6 people working in a room, and that room is headed by a showrunner. And then there are other designations of the writers. Like I said, you have story editors, staff writers, researcher, and script coordinator. So there are 5 to 6 people sitting in one room discussing that one story idea. So if perhaps you're developing, say, Sacred Games, then you will have one writer who's, say, the head writer, which was in Sacred Games, it was Varun Grover. Then you have a team of writers, 3 to 4 writers. So season 4 had 4 writers with 3 more writers with Varun. So that is how it is. And then you have a script coordinator and a researcher also. And sometimes you have consultants or consulting writers who are senior and who give you inputs. You are not there in your room always, but who just give you inputs. Okay. Yeah. So I'll come back to this question that when you are just a new writer, you don't really have any experience. Yes, you start writing something of your own, develop your own ideas, and if you've done a course, very good. If you haven't done a course, you can join a workshop, and then you can learn a thing or two about the whole craft of screenplay writing, and that will give you a lot of knowledge as to how to even just format a screenplay. And then you can go ahead and pitch it to the producers who may show interest in it. Hello, Dharam. Yeah, Dharam, if you have interest in direction, you can look at the courses in direction. You can look at RSACE as an academy where you can come and learn direction. No, so when you're done with your Jai there, yes, when you're done with the film script, you don't have to just hand it over to the directors or producers. It depends how you're writing it. If you are already hired by a producer, of course, then you are communicating with the producer. But if you have a script and you're done with it, you can take it to a director first. Or you can take it to a producer. If a director is established, then and director likes the script, very good. Then your script is on its way to be a film. And if you want to get in touch with the producer and the producer shows your script, so it depends. Whosoever you can approach when you're done with the script. Of course, there are now a lot of production houses which keep inviting scripts from people, and as and when you have your scripts ready, you can send them to those production houses. They are looking for, of course, there is a dearth of good writers and good stories, so they're always in demand. Yes, Achyut, you are asking something? So yes, the writing the screenplay writing is a very up and coming career for now. Of course, it has always been there, but now it is very much in demand because of the TV web series boom. A lot of writers are in demand because one writer's room employs 5 to 6 writers, and it's a very good time to be a writer. Hi Amar, yes, so script writer can be hired by a director also, or a producer also, or a senior script writer. That's also there. So yes, you can be hired by a production house as a writer. You can be hired by a director. Directors, of course, the contacts then vary. They are different. Then the contact with the director will be different from a contact with the producer. But yes, you can have contacts with the director or the producer or the production house or a very senior writer also. Now it's possible, like I said, because in TV writing, you can be hired as a junior writer, as an assistant writer, or even as a researcher. So even a senior writer can hire you, and along the way you can hone your skills and then become a professional screenplay writer and write your own scripts. Hi Dhruv, no, so basically it's not always that you're writing your own ideas and developing them. You can write your own ideas, definitely, but you can be hired by the producers, production houses, studios, or directors, like I said, or senior writers, and you can develop scripts for them based on their ideas. So this RSACE will help you in getting your like basic knowledge. It will give you basic knowledge to become a director or a writer, or anybody you want to be a writer, editor, or a cinematographer. So a 3-year course is very exhaustive, where you start from the foundation of filmmaking to the specialization, whatever you want to become. If you want to become a director or a writer or a cinematographer, so you get your hands-on experience in all these aspects of filmmaking: editing, writing, directing, cinematography. So whatever you want to choose, it's up to you. So no, you have to, if you've done your hi Roy, yes, so you can, there is no entrance to join RSACE, but you can always you can talk to the counselor there and have your doubts clarified. All right, so we'll wind up the session. Okay, thank you so much. Thanks a lot.